Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 7, and today we finally get a bit of respite from our horrendous 3-month run as we look at our newest youth intake, hoping for a special talent to take to the new stadium with us. We've got 2 or 3 that have come through in the last couple of years, and we'll be hoping to add to that today as the message is sitting there waiting for us. We then face Reading, who are 15th in the Championship, but could move to within 1 point of us if they win this game. We're really struggling in the league, and although we're now still only 3 points off the playoffs, we're all the way down in 10th and really struggling to finish in the top half. Just 2 defeats away from 17th place, and things continue to go disastrously. But we'll focus on the action on the pitch in a minute. We have got some bad news there. You can see some of it at the top. Jim Desart out with a torn hamstring. But we'll look at all that in a moment. Let's go and meet our youth intake and hope that we finally got some positive news after a really difficult few months. It's the first time I've felt out of control in this series. I've not been able to do anything to put things right. But fingers crossed today we'll get that little glimmer of hope we're looking for, and it'll give us some more positivity as we try to see out the final 10 games. So let's go to our message and hope it's a very good one. Cross your fingers, everyone. Here we go. One of the most gifted players to come through in recent years. I think that's the same as we had for Richard Quirk 2 years ago, so we'll certainly take someone of the same standard. Jeremy Wall is the name of the standout player. He's apparently a central midfielder, attacking right winger and a centre striker. So that worries me a little bit. Normally if players have one specific role and they've got this message by the head of youth development, it means that they're really good in that one role. Sometimes players having two-footedness or versatility really takes away from their overall attributes and it's counted towards their quality. So let's just go and find out. I'm really hoping for some good news and hopefully it'll be really positive. It's not particularly good. 3 really decent players, but no one particularly special this year. So let's meet the 3 of them. They're clearly standouts. The only 3 players with 1-star ability and the only 3 with 3.5 potential. So top is the double-barreled man, is Miles McCann Piggott. It's a brilliant name, I've got to give him that. He's the one who I think the head of youth development said his coaching style influenced, so hopefully that means he's got a decent personality. He's a defensive midfielder, prefers to be a ball winner, just 15 years of age, and I hope he's a really good pro. Let's go and meet him, see what he's like. I'm not a fan of that at all, I've got to be honest. 20 aggression means red cards galore. He's fairly professional, so we might be able to get him out of it, but that's not a good balance of attributes. Good tackling, but not very good technically, aside from his passing attribute, which is brilliant. Not the hardest worker in the world, and not got a lot of pace either. I'm a little bit upset by that one, but we haven't met the star of the pack yet, so let's go and meet the other 2. I'm ignoring Wall till last, as he's apparently our greatest hope. Having said that, both of these guys prefer to play in the same position, so the remaining 2 aren't both going to get in the team. Thomas Harding's the first one. He's a 16-year-old right winger, though he can play central midfield and right midfield too. He looks okay. He's got all the attributes you'd look for in a winger, probably aside from off the ball and crossing technique, but he is okay. He'll certainly make it as a professional, but I don't think he'll make it at this level. The other one is Jeremy Wall though. He's the standout man according to our head of youth development. Please do us a favour, Warren Hawke, and say you've underrated him so he can become an absolute superstar. Let's go and meet him then. He's still only 15 as well, and I tell you what, he's not too bad at all. He's got a balance of attributes I like. Not the best dribbler, which is a bit of a worry, but everything else is okay. We've mentioned his versatility, which is going to be a blessing. He's got a balanced personality, which we can influence with some of our key players, and I think he could be okay, although he's certainly probably not going to make it in the Premier League. So if we do get promoted in the next couple of years, that writes off his chances of making it, but he's going to be a decent pro again, and we can start to make money from our academy. So certainly no amazing standouts we were hoping for, nothing in the shape of a Quirk or Gerrard 2 years ago, or even Fibber last season, but a few good pros, and that's what we've got to focus on now, making our youth academy a really good place to develop, so plenty of players become professional footballers, and we can make 100 or 200 grand off every single one. But a steady start to the episode, if not spectacular, and we'll move on to the evening where we'll review our recent results on the pitch and play our home game against Reading. Okay, we're back for kick-off time. It's the evening kick-off against Reading. Can we do something special under the lights at Plainmoor? Just 5 or 6 more games to go there before we move into our spanking new stadium, which will hopefully bring us some new form as well as some increased playing budget. But before we get into the game against Francis Jeffers' side, let's go and take a look at the results since the last episode, where things have continued to go disastrously. You were with me for the West Ham game at the end of the month, as we went through transfer deadline day as well. So if you missed any of the action on the final day of the window, then go back to the last one and check it out. There wasn't a great deal in terms of ins, but there were certainly a few players going out of the club. Into February, we picked up just 4 points in 5 games. First was against Nottingham Forest away from home, a 2-2 draw in that one, as we came back from a goal down late on, though it's fortuitous due to an own goal. Jim Desart got injured in that game. He was really coming along nicely, but he's now out for 3 months and in truth will miss the rest of the season. It's a shame, as he's been one of the shining lights in midfield, and I was really looking forward to building a side around him next year, but after this injury I'm not sure if he'll be fit enough for a midfield 4 next year, so he may have to rethink our formation or whether he's going to be part of it. Moving on to the next one though, a 1-0 defeat against relegation scrapping QPR. A screamer from Paul Miller won that one. It was an absolute rocket of a goal, but we played okay aside from that. At home to Brentford, we weren't quite as good. It took a late winner to score the goal against us, but we didn't deserve a point out of the game, and in the end we didn't get it either. That was followed finally by a victory away to 22nd place Birmingham. I think they were 23rd at the time, so certainly not an amazing achievement, but a clean sheet is something special. We've only kept 2 in the league since the middle of December. Broja, Lahan and Duncan in that one, as we finally look convincing on the road. But back to our home struggles, a 3-2 defeat against Swansea. Ian McCann made it look closer than it probably was in the last minute, with a late consolation goal. Armando Broja with another one, but we really struggled at the back. For these 2 games we'd made some defensive tweaks, but it didn't really work at all, and then a 3-1 defeat away to Charlton confirmed that. Adam Lewis with a late goal, but the game was already out of sight. So let's get into this one, meet our lineup for today, and see if we can get back to winning ways. We haven't won a home game for nearly 2 months. So let's look at our 11. There's not too many surprises. Reading one of the only sides in the league in worse form than us, so hopefully that bodes well for today, but a lot of teams have ended their poor runs against us, particularly in the last 3 months. So we've got Alex Bass in goal, Brown, Shalabar and Williams the 3 centre-halves, Richard Quirk at right wing-back, although Nico Williams will be back at the weekend, and then Adam Lewis at left wing-back, McDonald and Lahana in the middle. That's because of Desart's injury, and then McCann's behind Broja and Duncan up front. Bobby Duncan, who's really struggled to get back to form since his injuries, he's not scored many goals since the turn of the year. We've got a few game changers on the bench, as well as youngsters such as Jared and Fibrosima. Hopefully they'll get a chance, but I'd like to be able to make those subs when we're 2 or 3 goals in the lead, rather than when the game's out of sight in the opposite direction. So let's get into the first half, see if we can get a result, because my goodness, we need one. It's a 4-4-2 for Reading, a formation we don't play much in this league, but it is one that seems to cause us trouble every time we come up against it, so it's going to be a difficult first half. We're going to tell the lads to step up and end their poor run of results. A lot of them are motivated there, and if we get into the first half, hopefully we can put on a performance. If we can at least look solid at the back, that would be great. We've reverted to our normal tactics, as we'd actually got worse at the back after that run, but now we've got a chance to get back on the board with a point against a side in terrible form. It's Richard Quirk on the right. He's lost the ball to the left winger early on, and after a couple of minutes it remains 0-0, but we've had the brighter start. Having said that, Reading have had the only shot. We didn't get to see a highlight from it, but now we've got a chance to come forward. Lahan's given the ball away in the middle. He's our best rated player at the club, but he has been absolutely awful this year. I know he's had the big long injury, but even before it he wasn't playing that well, and since he's come back he's been just as bad, and now Fraser's running at us on the counter. It could be another individual error that costs us. Richard Quirk fouls him. Oh, how many do you make? The shape's not bad. We're playing pretty well, but 2 individual errors there. One to give the ball away with a sloppy pass, and then Quirk to make a silly tackle. We're behind again. 5 minutes gone, and Reading, who haven't won in 5 and haven't even got a point on the board, have started like a house on fire and taken a lead thanks to our errors. It's a free kick on the left for Reading. They're full of confidence now. That shot rattles the crossbar. Shouldn't have even been hitting a target from there. Robinson's got the ball at the back, but they see it out comfortably. 20 minutes gone, it's Reading coming forward again, in behind, 2-0, unmarked from a set piece. What is going on at the back? We've been brilliant defending set pieces for years, and this season it's just all gone to pot in the last 3 months. I have no idea where it's come from. We've not changed the tactics at all. In fact, due to our struggles in recent months, I actually added a man to defend wide and deep set pieces, particularly from the free kicks. It just hasn't worked at all, and I have no idea what's going wrong. It seems like they're defying the instructions. We've only had this conversation once before. It's just a very strange run of form, and the lads aren't in there at all. Adam Lewis is the only man trying to save us. He scored a screamer on the volley from the edge of the box on the left. McDonald with a nice pass into him, but again we've given the team a 2-goal head start. At least it's not 3 this time, and we've got a lot of work to do to even get a point out of the game. It's Fraser on the right hand side. Reading coming straight up the other end to continue their dominance. I must say in these games we've lost a lot of them, and they've given away an absolutely awful goal. Look at the individual error again. Shalabar heads it straight up rather than away, and it falls to Anderson 6 yards out to tap in. You can see from this it's not the general game plan. It's just the most ridiculous and absurd of individual errors. I don't know how to rectify them. They've all come along in the last few months. The same players who have been succeeding all year beforehand. Mate on the edge, puts it wide at a post, and I don't know what to say. It's so frustrating. We can't buy a result. 10 minutes to the break. It's Reece Williams on the left. We've got so much work to do. We've given the team 3 goals, as we have in most games. Quirk delivers to Broja. He's scored again. 35 minutes gone. It's 2-3. And all because of individual errors. Otherwise, we could be 2-0 up. I don't know what to say. Please let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas. You can see that the game plan's working okay. The pressing's good. We're blocking. We're getting interceptions. But we just keep conceding silly goals. How do you cut out so many individual errors other than replacing the players? Reece Williams heads away. Shalabar gets the second. It falls for Mate on the right though. He's been cutting in on his left all day. Finds Anderson again. Who's that who's lost in? I think it was Robson Brown. And another free header goes over the bar. What I was saying earlier in the half is it's one of the few games where we've actually been outplayed on the stats. Normally we've dominated possession, had more shots than the opposition and just given away the goals. But on this occasion we've actually conceded chances, although most of them have been our own doing. Let's go and talk to the lads. I just don't know what to say. How many times have I got to say that today? We're really struggling. These errors are coming absolutely out of nowhere, and it's the same players every week. The back 5 in particular. Adam Lewis has been brilliant going forward. Richard Quirk's making a lot of errors, something I expect from the youngsters, but the 2 of the centre halves, Shalabar and Robson Brown, just keep making errors. I have no idea why. They've been brilliant for the first half of the year, but it's suddenly going wrong and our midfield's starting to struggle too. If we lose this one, I've decided I'm going to change the tactic. Apologies for the slight jump cut there. We had a weird glitch in the play, and then unfortunately we had a coughing fit as well. But we're all right now. Fraser's got the ball on the left. He finds Kelly, who goes for the shot. He's straight into the arms of Bass. But as I was saying beforehand, the tactical change I'm planning, Rowan McDonald will drop back to that holding role. It's something he's done for us in the past in earlier divisions before he left us the first time around. Then we'll go with Lahan and one other in central midfield and sacrifice the number 10. So the likes of McCann and Ramsbottom will have to vie for a place in central midfield. It's Kelly with the ball for Anderson. Reading coming forward again. Akinade on the right hand side. He finds Mate. McDonald loses out in a challenge and Alex Bass is forced into another save. 10 minutes into the second half and our defensive woes don't look like being addressed. It's a corner for Adam Lewis. He goes to the front post. Brown flicks it on. Falls for Williams. Now Lahan. He's equalised and we're level at 3-3. We keep having to score 3 or 4 goals to get results. But as long as we can do it today, I'll let the lads off on this occasion. Let's go and make a couple of changes. Just a quarter of the game to go. Bobby Duncan's not been at his best. Frank Hall will come on for him. Ian McCann also's had a poor game. So Ramsbottom on in that role. We were thinking about Lahan beforehand, but his rating shot up with the goal. So we're going to leave it 5 more minutes before we make the final sub. 20 minutes to go. Can we go and nick a winner? It's Reading with a throw in the left back area. They get it inside to Rogers. They're going to build from the back and there's not much pressure. Where's this counter pressing? Where's the urgency that we've got in the tactical plans? The lads just seem so lacking in confidence and they're not willing to take a gamble. Mate cuts it inside to Kelly. He finds Rogers. Gets the shot away but McDonald blocks. He's done really well today but I'm worried now he's on a yellow card. Hopefully he won't get himself sent off. It's a corner on the left. Lewis will take it. Shalabar nods it. Broja puts it in. We're 4-3 up, everyone. The drought's over. McDonald's knackered in central midfield. Mapley will come on for him. A good ball playing midfielder just to try and keep possession in the middle. Let's make that final change and try and see out the game. A wonderful goal, and we're finally back ahead, and I just hope we can hang on. It will do so much for the confidence to win a home game. Akinade's got it for Reading though, and every time they're in possession we worry. Rogers has won the flick on. Lynch charges at the defence. He shoots from 30 yards, but it's a wayward effort and it's a long way wide. We managed to see that one out comfortably. I've just noticed on the bench for Reading, Ezri Konsa's there. He's playing for us in Newcastle in the Champions League in our other series. What on earth's gone on in his career here to make him play for a mid-table championship side? Here's Lahan in the middle. Let's not worry about that. Can we get a fifth? Ramsbottom to Williams. He finds Mapley, the substitute, looking for that eye of a needle pass. Long ball forward. Brown flicks it away to Ramsbottom. Can another one of the subs do something special? He beats two, beats three and rattles the post. What an effort by Ramsbottom. But unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. He would have really announced himself as a Torquay player there, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Richard Quirk with a throw. He plays it to Mapley, who returns it to him. Broja tries to clear it. It's out for another throw, and we're going to make some tactical tweaks. You can see from the stats that Reading have had double the amount of clear-cut chances. They've absolutely wiped the floor with us. It's something that doesn't often happen, but on this occasion we're going to get lucky. We've got to hold on for these 4 minutes. We're going to time waste frequently, be more disciplined. In transition we're also going to slow the pace down and hold our shape when possession's won. No rushing counter-attacks here. We just want to keep possession. Out of possession, we want to change some things too. We're going to drop our pressing intensity and we're going to defend with less width. We just want to get narrow and defend the box, making sure Reading can't create chances due to having too much space. So let's get back into stoppage time. Cross your fingers, everyone. We're going to drop to balanced as well, just so we're not too advanced. Broja's got the ball to Mapley. A fifth goal would be really appreciated. I know the attacker shouldn't need it to win a game, but the way we're defending at the moment, you can never be too safe in front of goal. Ramsbottom finds Mapley. Can he find the final pass? Tries to find one there, but he's been challenged in the end. That's really poor play from the substitute. Kane on the left-hand side for Reading. He goes back to the left-back. Plays a 1-2 and now Rogers. Anderson cutting in. Please don't concede. We need to hang on desperately. The cross is blocked and we're away. We've got a 3-on-2 with Ramsbottom. Can he find a striker? Frank Hall's in behind, takes the touch, but it's straight at Balcom, who saves comfortably. 3.5 minutes to go, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can do. So the last couple of tactical tweaks we're going to make with our wing backs. We're going to drop them to a defensive mentality just to try and see out the game as best possible. Is there anything else we can do in the middle? Lahan will drop to a support duty. Ramsbottom's already on the same. We can do it with Armando Broja too, just to sit in on the holding midfield. Let's see if we can hang on for the last three. We'll drop to cautious in a second. It's Reading with a throw on the left though. Into Anderson, still in her own half, but Kelly brings it forward. Quirk intercepts for Ramsbottom. He finds Lahan into Broja, who's dropped a little deeper. Can he find the pass? Just keeps it sensible for Mapley. Quirk on the right wing. He's got two in the middle, tries to cross, but he's blocked behind for a throw, and now we will drop to cautious. He'll take as long as he can for this one, and now we've got a free kick on the left. Lewis delivers, Kane puts it behind, 20 seconds to go and we've got a corner, and that's all we could have asked for at this stage. We're going to do it, everyone. We're going to get the 3 points. Reading are making a sub for some reason. Quirk's got it on the right hand side, and you can get booked for this, son. I really don't mind. After he started the downfall with a silly penalty foul early on, we've hung on for 3 points, and that game could be crucial as we look to turn around our season. Let's go and talk to the lads. The half-time team talk really worked. We got 2 goals unanswered in the second period, and we managed to nick a crucial 3 points as we widen the gap between us and Reading and put ourselves back in range of the playoffs. After all this disappointment, let's go and have a look at our run recently. I just want to check this. Since the 9th of January, we've played 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10 games in the league and only won 2 of them. Despite that, we're up in 7th place and now just 1 point behind the playoffs. It's absolutely remarkable, and we've put that distance between us and the bottom teams. So most importantly, survival secured for another year, but our board expects a mid-table finish this season, despite us having the lowest wage bill in the league, and we've really got to make sure we achieve that and don't drop down too low. But I'm so pleased with that result, even though our defence is still struggling. Please tell me if you know how I can cut out the individual errors. We do so much work on the defensive structure in training, but it seems to be to no avail at the moment. Let's quickly look at what the media have said about the game. A thrilling encounter, but we come out on top, and now Broja's chasing a new deal. We'll update with that in the next episode. We've got a few players in the last 2 weeks or so who have signed new contracts, so you can see bar Armando Broja, everyone else has signed a new deal. Halls was expiring at the end of this season, we've given him a further year, and everyone else has got 2.5 years or more, which gives us a bit of stability moving forward. If we can add 3 or 4 quality players to the squad next year and sort out the formation properly, I really think we could be in for a treat and push for promotion in the new ground. So we'll go and look at the schedule quickly. I'm not planning to do more than 1 episode from the rest of the league season, but obviously if we do find our form again after that one and get embroiled in a battle for the playoffs, we'll come back for a game in between now and the Cardiff one. So join me in a couple of days to find out who we're facing and how we're getting on after returning to winning ways. But I'm really delighted with that 3 points, and I hope it can be the start of something special again. We've got 6th place Stoke at the weekend. That's going to be a crucial match, but all I'm worried about now is getting a few more wins on the board. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video. I really do appreciate your continued support with the series, and the fact you're still following in season 9 is absolutely amazing to me, and I can't thank you enough for your support. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of our youth intake, if you've got any idea on how to improve our defence. We don't want to change the back 3 for the rest of the season, as it's worked really well going forward. We've still scored the most goals in the league, it's just in defence we've struggled at times. I may have a play around in some of the big away games, like the Fulham one we've got coming up, playing a holding midfielder rather than a number 10, and see how that works moving forward. It could be something we try next season. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content for my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United, and then our journeyman saved the head coach. We mentioned it earlier when Conza's name came up. We're with Newcastle United in that one, and we're really doing well in that series. It's been a landmark season, so go back and check it out if you haven't seen it already. Also, keep your eye out on the channel on Fridays over the next couple of months. We've got some content coming from some new sports games that I'm really looking forward to trying. So if you are a fan of other sports games, then do come along and check them out. The first episode of those will be from this Friday. We've got 2 games coming up. 1 game comes out next week, and then another one which is out towards the end of May. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series, and we'll see you next time for another big championship game.